Jacob, and this is Delaire Rowe she's the director of Arts for All Kentucky. Is that right?
That is right.
Okay. What does a director do?
Well, I help organize things. We have programs. We're an arts and disability organization, and we have programs that serve the whole state of Kentucky. And so we need to have somebody who can organize those things and talk to people on the phone and send them emails and make sure everything happens.
Wow, that sounds like a really important job.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so you're going to read a book to me today, right?
Yes, I am. I brought this book with me. It's called Charlotte and the Quiet Place. And the author is Deborah Sosin, and it's illustrated by Sarah Woolley.
Okay. I like the dog. He's got a sweater on.
Yes, he does. And Charlotte has a hoodie on, and the leaves are red and brown and orange. It looks like it's autumn, and autumn is the time of year that we're in right now, too.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so what's the book about?
Well, let's get started. I will begin reading. Charlotte's house is noisy. In the hallway, the floorboards groan. In the living room, the TV bellows and blares. You can see that Charlotte has her fingers in her ears.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, her dog Otto yips and yaps and yowls. Even in her bedroom, which is supposed to be a quiet place, the old steam radiator hisses and whistles and whines. And Charlotte doesn't look very happy, does she?
No, she doesn't.
It says, where can Charlotte find a quiet place? Charlotte's school is noisy. In the lunchroom, the trays clatter and crash. Every time there's a noise in the picture, there are marks that represent the sound. Like around the bell, there are these little marks that go outward. And even where those two lunch trays hit together, there's a little star, a little burst that represents the sound that is making.
Oh, wow.
On the playground, the swings creak and squeak and rattle. Even in the library, which is supposed to be a quiet place, the children giggle and yammer and yell. Where can Charlotte find a quiet place?
She's having a hard time.
Yes, here she is. She's not in school here. Now she's in her neighborhood. Charlotte's neighborhood is very, very noisy. On the sidewalk, the jackhammers blast. On the street, the sirens warble and wail. What's she doing here?
Is she holding her dog?
She's holding her dog. Is sort of trying to protect her dog. Her dog, Otto.
Her dog looks scared.
Maybe her dog doesn't like loud noises either.
Yeah, I don't either.
Underground, the subway screeches and rumbles and roars. Even in the park, which is supposed to be a quiet place, the leaf blowers buzz, bluster, and hum. No, cries Charlotte. I have to find a quiet place.
Yeah, that's a lot of noise.
One Saturday morning, Charlotte takes Otto for a walk. In the park, Otto spots a squirrel and he lurches free. Oh, look, she has such a surprised look. Charlotte chases Otto, charging down the hill, over the bridge, and into a grove, where Otto skids to a stop.
Uh-oh.
Charlotte and Otto are out of breath. Together, they sit down to rest. They close their eyes. Charlotte's belly rises up and down, up and down. Her breath goes in and out, in and out.
She must be out of breath.
Even that breathing even makes a noise, but it's kind of a soft sound. Whew. Whew. She's trying to catch her breath.
Yeah.
I bet she was scared too.
Yeah, I bet.
Her mind slows down. It's quiet at last.
Oh, good.
It's so quiet, Charlotte notices an even quieter place.
What?
Look at her expression here.
She looks like she's sleeping almost.
Yes, she does. She does look calm, kind of relieved. A place deep in her belly where her breath is soft and even. A place deep in her mind where her thoughts are hushed and low. A place as quiet as the small silence on the very last page of her favorite book. The silence right after the end. Oh, there she's closing a book.
Yeah.
The first time I read this book, I thought this was the end of it, the story, but it's not, because I turned the page.
Oh, it keeps going.
There's this 2 pages all together, and this, ooh, that's the wind blowing. And what do you see in this picture?
There's a lot of trees. And there's some buildings up in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's a pond or something over there too. And some more dogs. People walking their dogs.
Yes. When Charlotte is ready, she and Otto hike slowly away from the grove, back over the bridge and up the hill toward home. Nowadays, Charlotte's house is still noisy. Her school is still noisy. And her neighborhood is still very, very noisy.
He's flying on that ladder.
I think Charlotte lives in a city.
Mm-hmm. A big city looks like.
Yeah. But Charlotte remembers that day in the park. So wherever she is, whenever she wants, when her world is too noisy, Charlotte simply closes her eyes and travels back to that peaceful place. The place deep in her belly where her breath is soft and even. The place deep in her mind where her thoughts are hushed and low. The quiet place inside.
Oh, wow.
There's Charlotte and Otto.
Aw.
Looking out at the park at all the people.
Yeah, she found her own little quiet place.
Yes, she did. The end. You know, sometimes if it gets too noisy, I can use these. And these have padding right here. You can feel that padding.
Yeah.
So I can put that on my head, and that kind of takes away some of the noise and helps me to focus on whatever I'm doing, like maybe reading. Another thing that I like to do, and I'm going to take these off, is draw. Sometimes
really?
that's where my quiet place is, when I'm doing artwork.
Huh. Okay.
And I brought a paper here that already has a little bit of a drawing on it, but it's not finished. Can you guess? Who those two are?
Is that Charlotte and that's Otto?
That's right. But they're missing a lot of things, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just lines.
They're just
right
lines.
now.
So with this paper, I can add, here I've got a pencil, and I've got crayons. Now, you know, you might have a pencil and crayons, or you might have markers or watercolors, an ink pen, whatever you like. And you can finish this drawing. And I'll just draw a little bit just to give you an example. This reminds me of the book of where you can see that Charlotte and Otto are sitting under a tree. So I think I want to show them sitting under a tree, but the tree's behind them. So I'm not going to see all of the tree. So I can draw, let's see, we'll make it kind of like in between them. I'm going to draw one line up right behind Otto, and I'm going to draw another line. It looks like it's coming out of her shoulder, but it's really just behind her, and another line up, so that now that's going to be the trunk of my tree. And then I want to add some branches. So I'm going to put my pencil down where I left off, and draw a line out into the edges like so. And then I'm going to come back and draw another line right next to it, so that it almost looks like those are two branches.
Okay.
And I think I'll draw maybe another couple branches like so. And this is fall. I'm going to draw some, I'm going to use some kind of wavy lines to draw the foliage in the trees.
That's the leaves.
That's the leaves. And I might just leave it like that. But you can always add more. Can you think of some things that you might be able to add to this picture?
A squirrel, like in the book.
Yes, a squirrel would be a good addition to this picture. You could draw their faces, maybe, because they don't have faces in this one.
And her hoodie and his little sweater.
I have one that I finished earlier before I came here, and I'm just going to show this as an example. And you don't have to copy it, because when you do this drawing, it will be yours, and it will reflect your thoughts and your ideas.
Okay.
But this is the one I finished, and you can see I used the fall colors of yellow and orange and brown for the leaves, and I didn't put a lot of detail in the dog or the little girl. I just colored them in black, a solid black, so that it looks like they're a silhouette.
Yeah.
But again, that's just goes to show how many different ways you could choose to finish this picture. Now, some people also like to use words to describe things. So if instead of drawing it, perhaps you would, and I'm going to get another blank sheet here just as an example. Up here at the top, maybe you would like to write something.
Like your own story about them.
Your own story about them, or maybe where your favorite quiet place is.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed Charlotte in the Quiet Place. I really enjoyed reading it, and it kind of makes me feel calm, you know, when I think about her and her quiet place.
Yeah, especially after all the busy noises in the beginning.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, and thank you for coming, and thank you very much for showing us this art project, too.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
In fact, if you're watching this and you would like to get this sheet so that you could do your drawing, I think that it will be made available to you, and you'll get directions on how to do that. And we want you to send us a photograph of your finished piece, because we would love to share it on our website, on our Facebook page.
Yeah, and on the Kids on the Block Facebook page, too. Well, thank you so much, Delaire, for coming and reading this book to me and doing an art project. This was a really fun day.
Thank you. I had fun, too.
Good. Well, bye, guys, and we'll see you next time.